Presented by Wearable Fandom. Welcome to Wear Mighty Things, episode 49. We are live here on November 13th. This is a podcast all about the Roosevelt's brand and community. Fandom, fashion, and friends is what we're all about here on Wear Mighty Things. And if you're down with that, then you've come to the right street. To receive all of the content updates, please like and subscribe. Ring that bell to get notifications on all of our content as it releases. Well, I am back on the block as our jet-setting fandom traveler Dustin continues his trip to the land of the rising sun. But every Ernie has his Bert, every Big Bird has his Snuffy, and I have the illustrious John Madigan. John, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, my friend. How you doing?
Oh, great, man. It's always exciting to be here, man. I'm looking forward to tonight.
Always excited and happy to do the show with you, Ron. And I must say, I do love your outfit right here. You have the Sesame Street Black Party outfit on, and like we've talked before in the past, you usually have a whole outfit. Not
Oh yeah,
just the shirt.
got the cap. I've got the
You're like,
Vans.
you were like, oh, this little thing.
Yeah, you noticed?
No. But that's literally perfect. It's great. It's perfect because I don't know if you saw what I did last night. I don't know if you saw Ariane's post.
No.
We went to go see Rob Lake Magic on Broadway with special guest the Muppets.
Oh, sweet. I've heard all about that. That's awesome.
Yeah, no. So yeah, first time Muppets ever on Broadway. But before that, I'm talking about what we did before that. We got into the city early. We went to the Disney store, and then we went for what I was very excited about was the NBC store to go check out all the Jimmy Fallon stuff.
Nice.
Right. I mean, and I was blown away. I was hyperventilating a little bit. I was almost had a tear in my eye because Jimmy's so great. I mean, I know you're. I would hope you're a Jimmy Fallon fan.
No, big Fallon fans have loved him all the way back to his SNL days. I mean, the only thing that him and I aren't in agreement on is he's a Sox fan. I'm a Yankees fan, but yeah,
I love that movie, Fever Pitch with Drew Barrymore.
It is a great movie.
I watch it a couple of times a week. I mean, it's a phenomenal movie. So we went to the NBC. We looked at all the Jimmy stuff, and that was just amazing. Like, you ever walk into a place and you feel like, oh, like this must be what heaven's like. Like this is above that. Like,
nice.
So I don't know if you ever checked out the NBC store to go check out the Jimmy Fallon stuff, but you should do that. I think awesome. Everybody should do that.
I know Dustin. You know, he was just in NYC, so you know, hopefully while he was roaming around down there, he made a stop too.
I would have hoped that he went and stopped and looked at the Jimmy Fallon stuff at the NBC store. Why wouldn't you? How can you not walk past that? We made a special trip just to do that. I mean, so I'm just really happy to see it because Jimmy is the best. That's my bestie, Ariane.
Ariane is correct.
She's absolutely best. Jimmy Fallon is the absolute. Jimmy Kimmel, not so much. I don't know if you. I don't mind Kimmel, but I don't think he's on the same level. I mean, so Jimmy Kimmel's band leader just passed away the other day, and I'm not saying I had something to do with it, but maybe I had something to do with it. So,
well, we've talked about Fallon, what I'm wearing. What are you wearing,
Fallon,
sir?
I just want to say Fallon 1, Kimmel 0.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Questlove is still around. So
this is true.
This is true. Have I talked enough about Jimmy? I don't know. I am wearing. I don't even know what I'm wearing. I threw this on. I walked in the door. Everyone knows I come straight from work. I threw on the first Roosevelts I had. This is the Drawn to Life. This is the Drawn to Life. But not the colored version.
Yeah, the Disney one.
Yeah. Yeah, so I am wearing that, and I got Jake Holland Pizza Party hat. It's always so weird. I can't wear a hat. I literally put on this hat just for this podcast because when I'm out at work, I'm not allowed to wear a hat. I'm not, So it's weird. Everybody in my life knows me like without a hat because I'm usually not without one. But everyone in the Roosevelt community usually knows me with a hat on. So
most people don't know what my hair looks like except for my coworkers, and I wear the hat into work. I set it on my desk. Because we're not supposed to wear them while we're in the office. And then as soon as it's time to clock out, I put it back on, and then the hat's there the rest of the day. So most people don't usually know what's hiding under there. I've always gotta keep a lid on it. So
I'll respond to Dan Chatfield's comment right now. That was not a racist joke. I did not mean to do a racist joke. No, there's the one that's in color, and then there's the drawn the sketches version. Dan, I just got out of work. I literally just walked in. Um, uh, not a racist joke. Not a racist joke.
We save the inappropriate comments for later.
Right, exactly. That happens after we get off the air.
That's where Mighty Things After Dark, and that one doesn't get aired.
I don't. Yeah, I don't need to be canceled. Not this week.
Well, speaking of canceled, I mean, our boy Dustin has left us high and dry 2 weeks in a row, so that's why I'm here with you.
Yes, he has.
He's over in Japan, and tonight, it's for tonight for us, daytime for them. He's off, hanging and banging with a bunch of sumo wrestlers. It sounds like.
He is banging a lot of super wrestlers. Yes, absolutely. I definitely know him to be doing that. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't know what's in Japan. Have you been to Japan?
I've never been. It's one of those places I'd love to check out. The Godzilla culture and the video game culture. Like it's always been intriguing to me. But just the amount of travel, how long you have to fly, like all that, just it doesn't sound appealing to me.
It just doesn't seem worth it to me. I don't know. He just seems like he'll do anything to get away from us. That's what it kind of feels.
Well,
like.
and I was messaging with him earlier. I mean, it almost sounds like being in a time machine, because for him it's Saturday over there, or it's Friday over there right now. We're still on Thursday. By the time he flies back to San Diego, he leaves on Sunday there, but gets back here on it's Saturday evening for him by the time he gets back to California. So it sounds like something straight out of Back to the Future to me. So I warned him. I was like, if you see your mom in any of the travels, don't bang your mom.
Yeah, don't ever bang your mom. Don't. That's my job.
Well, moving on. I have not heard from him about joining the cruise yet. I think it's time for a little cruise update. And the one thing I wanted to mention was I saw in the chat that sounds like they're going to do a Price is Right on our ship.
Yeah, so really exciting thing. Royal Caribbean just started a couple weeks ago on one of their bigger ships, where they got the license to do the Price is Right. I believe there's a $10 or $15 entry fee in. They're going to be giving away a car on every cruise, so you can come on the Roosevelt cruise and potentially walk away with a car. So if you win the Price is Right, that sounds really exciting. I definitely love growing up watching the Price is Right. You're homesick, and you are, watching Bob Barker, baby. Oh yeah, baby, look at that beautiful event page. Yeah, I mean, this is a brand new thing for Royal Caribbean, so I'm really excited to see how they do it and go on and watch some videos of of how it's done. But my understanding is you can win a car on the Price is Right on Royal Caribbean's Utopia. So that is definitely something that I am going to try and make sure that I get into. Because who doesn't want to win a new car? I mean, that would be epic.
I'm looking forward. Like hearing that. That was definitely one of the nothing had jumped out at me as like a must do yet. But that was as soon as I saw that, I was like, that sounds like fun.
There's a lot of fun events. I don't know if you saw that. That is our ship. That is our exact ship. You just saw the video of that. I love all the different colors on that. I saw the video, blew me away.
It's beautiful.
It is a beautiful party ship. Ron, I am super excited for you because this is the first time.
This is the maiden voyage for Ron. Yeah, exactly.
This is the main voyage for Ron. And look, Mr. Fandom Traveler himself has just entered the comments. He's watching us. The bus.
Dad's watching and making sure we're not burning down the house while he's gone.
Hey, Mr. Fandom Traveler. Inmates run the asylum this week, okay, buddy? So
we're taking over.
We're taking over, baby. We don't need to.
He's going to have to pry this from our cold, dead hands once he gets back.
Damn straight. Hey, I'm the captain now. In fact, I say you go in, you change Dustin's password right now. That's what I think should happen. That's just me, though.
It's great to know that he's watching while he's also watching inmates are just mates. Glad to know he's keeping an eye on us while he's also watching the big sumos doing their thing. And I got to be honest, I'm actually kind of jealous he's doing that. I know the culture over there when it comes to that sumo wrestling stuff is amazing.
Is it really now? I didn't even know it
Yeah.
was still a thing.
Oh, it's a huge thing, very ceremonial, very very pop and circumstance, and it's like it's a very high mark for their culture still. And that's why like wrestling organizations like the WWE and stuff, they've had characters that portrayed sumos. They've actually even brought some of the sumo wrestlers themselves over and had them participate. I know one year the Big Show wrestled like the grand champion in a sumo match at WrestleMania, and that was pretty cool. So
So is sumo wrestling fake? Like wrestling? Like, is that
no,
how
man.
that works?
I mean, it's no, it's a big honor. It's like the training that goes into it is amazing. I mean, these guys, the amount of time that they spend working on their craft. I mean, it's pretty. Like if you dig into it, and I'm not deep into it by any means, but like if you look into it and dig into it, it's
You're not fly to Japan and go see it live deep into it.
no, I'm not there yet, but
You're not that's just nuts. Who would do that? That's just
yeah. I mean, I can't even imagine what a trip like that is like. But someday we'll get there. Gabriel just joined us. What's up,
what
Gabe?
up,
How you
Gabe?
doing,
What up,
sir?
Real? Gabester.
And Anthony chimed in a bit on our ship on the Utopia, saying that there's lots of bars and restaurants on the Utopia that we're gonna love it. The Pesky Parrot Tiki Bar.
Yeah,
Cool.
I imagine that being a really cool big hangout spot. Yeah, first tiki bar at sea, so that is really exciting. And Pesky Parrot looks really, really, really beautiful. So, but I did want to talk a little bit. Got to see the Muppets on Broadway for the first time.
Yeah.
Muppets made their Broadway debut last night, and it was such a cool thing to see them live, see them in person. You see them up, and it's something that they've talked about forever, and to finally see it happen was really cool and memorable. And I the biggest complaint is that there weren't enough Muppets. They
Really?
weren't. So it's this guy Rob Blake. I don't know if you've heard of Rob Blake. I would never have.
Once I heard about the show, I looked him up a bit, but I didn't know him beforehand.
I didn't know him beforehand at all either. His claim to fame is that God, what's the word? He came in 8th place on America's Got Talent, which I don't think is. I mean, it's a higher place than me.
I mean, it's like a participation badge at that point, right?
Right, exactly. Yes, Miss Piggy was there. That's Dustin. Thank you. I'm so glad. If not, we riot. And you know what? Well, she's rioting. So the funniest thing is this show started about 2 weeks ago, a little less than 2 weeks ago. And opening night is supposed to happen, because in Broadway there's like a preview period, and then they pick an opening day, and that's kind of like when the show is frozen. The opening night is tomorrow night, and the show has already been canceled. It was supposed to go until January, and I guess just due to low ticket sales or whatever, they decided they were instead of ending it in January, they're ending it this weekend.
That's
yeah, it was.
Well, that's a bummer to hear, because I mean I was hoping that it would be successful enough that they'd want to tour it, because we're big Muppet fans out here. I mean, Megan and I even kind of looked at the calendar just to be like, would there be any possibility of making? And at this time of year, it's just tough for us to travel. But I mean, that would have been awesome to see. And so we were hoping it would be big enough that maybe they'd travel. And like I've said before, we're members of the local, the Denver Center for the Performing Arts here, so we get the season passes and go see all the big shows when they come in town. So we were hopeful that maybe we'd be able to see the Muppets here in Denver at some point.
Yeah, I mean, and that would have been amazing. But honestly, I agree, Ariane. The Muppets do deserve better. Damn it. I would love to see a full Muppet show. And it was this guy, Rob Lake, and it was a traditional magic show. And a lot of tricks that you've seen other magicians already do, he prefers them like slightly worse. And he was okay. We need Real Muppets Take Manhattan on Broadway. I agree completely. Let's do it.
100%.
I would love to see a Muppets Christmas Carol on Broadway. I think that
it would be
awesome.
awesome to do something along those lines. It's one of those things, and it's almost disheartening as Muppet fans. You had the closing of the ride and the Muppet area at Disney World this year. Now to hear that this isn't going so hot, I know. They made those movies a few years ago. I guess it's probably almost 10, 15 years ago now. That didn't have great success. So Disney just hasn't found a good way to use and continue to keep
utilize the Muppets. Yeah,
yeah, and they need to find some way. I would love to see a Muppet show, like the actual Muppet show, come back in the capacity that it did, or like how they used to do. They did for the short run of Muppets Tonight, which was more like a late night Jimmy Fallon kind of show. I would love for them to.
Can we keep talking about Jimmy?
Jimmy, yeah, I mean, right back to Jimmy, right? And Jimmy's been on with the Muppets. He was in the what is it, the Green and Red Christmas or whatever, but that the NBC.
That
NBC
is true.
era.
Yes.
Yeah, he was on.
He was in there. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Jimmy. I'll talk about Jimmy. In fact, I think I'm going to start a Jimmy Fallon podcast. Honestly, no. So the show was okay. The Muppets were really cool. To see them in person on stage was really, really, really something amazing. And I'm glad that we went, because it was a moment in history. The Muppets' first time on Broadway. That's something to. Muppets should do Jersey Boys with Ralph in the lead. Yes, I love that. Yes, that would be a great idea. Would love to see Ralph in Jersey Boys. That would be epic.
And maybe that's the thing, like something, maybe switching up. It's always like Kermit centric, and I love Kermit, but he's the heart of the Muppets. We all know that, but maybe if it was somebody else kind of taking the lead for a while, and it's not always Kermit and Piggy. There are so many great characters. Maybe if you bring somebody else to the forefront, maybe you get something better out of it, or capture people's attention in a different way.
No, I agree. They need to figure out something to do to revamp the Muppets and bring them back to the stardom that they once were at. And I really hope they figure it out. I'm not saying that I have all the ideas. Maybe a show with Jimmy Fallon and the Muppets would do really well. And so we'll see. But it was definitely a great night. We had a great time, and I'm really glad that we went and got to see it before it closed down. It was just kind of like the news dropped that it was closing. It was like, well, should we buy tickets? It's like, yeah, let's buy tickets. Let's go. And we just went that night, and it was a great best friend night for sure. But I would like to see more Muppets on Broadway. A little less Rob Lake.
More Muppets anywhere. I think that'll be the platform we run for office on next year.
More Muppets anywhere. I can run on that. I can definitely run on that.
All right. Well, moving right along. Last week we had talked about the Survivor pool. It was down to like 28 people or whatever, and you were still in the running. I know that there were a lot of tight, crazy games. John, how'd it go?
So at this point in time, last week when we made the episode, I still had not picked a team. Nope. So did some research and wound up picking the Seahawks, and really glad to say they won. So I am in. And we are down to 17 people left in the Survivor pool. And at this point right here, it's like, I gotta win. I gotta go all the way.
And there were some upsets. There were some tight games. So I mean, it was a tough week to pick, and we had talked about that, about just some of the games being coin flips, and people could have gone either way. So I'm glad to hear that it narrowed down by like another 10 or so people, and you made it through, because even that Seahawks game was one that was could have gone either way, like on paper. So good job, man. Great pick. Glad to hear you're live. Have you made your pick yet for next week?
Yes, have made a pick. I mean, and you can tell me if you think this is a good pick or not, because I really don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I have picked the Texans in their game against the Titans.
And that's one I see everybody leaning the Texans' way. I will say I don't have like 100% faith in them because they're only like 4-5. They're not great, but the Titans have been abysmal this year.
Yeah.
So it's definitely one of those ones that I probably would lean very very much with you on the Texans, and you're not going to get many games to pick a team like the Texans in. And I'm scrolling through on my phone right now looking at the games, and to be honest, like if I had to pick this week, like God, it would be pretty tough.
It's
That
really tough. I'm
might be the
concerned.
game to pick. Yeah,
I
a
mean,
lot of the teams are middle of the pack against another middle of the pack team. There's no real high team versus a team with two losses. You probably got the best pick of the bunch. I think I'm squarely behind you right now. So fingers
well,
crossed.
I appreciate that. We will definitely see how I do next week. But like now that we're down to 17 people, I must say, like I feel myself like really nervous. I'm like, I
Pressure, right?
can't.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of
When you get
pressure
in
on
it,
me.
it's just for fun at the beginning, and there's almost 400 people were in or whatever it was. Um, you know, you lose early, and you're just part of like now it's you have a legitimate shot to win this
Right.
in the
That's
next
what I'm
couple of
saying.
weeks. And for us, you're
I
talking a $500 gift card to our favorite brand. You can do a lot of damage with that.
do a lot of damage. I like I said, I initially joined just to have fun and to just like, oh, this will be fun. Pick this every week, and we'll see how far I make it. But I went into it knowing like I'm not gonna, I'm gonna get out week 4, week 5, maybe. And no, we're at a week 11, so it's rough. It's 2 parkas. That's
Dan,
right. I
Dan's
can get
pointing out you can get two parkas, and we will talk about that later here, Dan. That's a good
2
little
parks.
teaser for us.
Oh, man, but go to Ariane's comment. That one makes me even more happy.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
Gabe says you've
uh,
got
j-
this, and yeah, Aaron, go Sox,
go
Jimmy. That's
Sox,
your
go Sox, baby.
Oh
Yes.
man.
Yeah, we should do a fever pitch like watch party. Um, I I would love to do that. But Gabe, I appreciate the confidence as well. I'm hoping I got this. If anybody thinks I should be picking a different team, let me know. I'm willing to hear your reasoning. Because I am not an expert at this. I'm just, I'm doing the best research I can and just going with it and hoping for the best. But I am nervous. I am definitely nervous that I'm
Just living on a prayer.
just living on a prayer. You're right. Oh God. Do you like
Well,
Bon Jovi?
I do. I'm not like super fan, but
Not as big of a fan as I am of Jimmy Fallon. But
I
you,
I don't know that anybody is as big a fan of anything as you are of Jimmy Fallon. Like
I like
I
to think that too.
I think if you can get Fallon to wear a Roosevelt, it would just completely blow your mind.
They need a Fallon. I mean, they do kind of have one, and I think he's on it. The
Is he on the SNL on one of the SNL ones?
the SNL. What's the purple one? Needs more cowbell.
Yep.
I believe he's on that. Yeah. So I would love to. I would give Jimmy Fallon a Roosevelt. I'd buy him one if he needed. Um, I'd give him anything. So, yeah.
Well, you've got your Christmas lights on your wall on your background behind you. We talked last week about when was too soon, what was going on, and the often overlooked Thanksgiving at this point. So the next the next topic I was going to talk about was a little bit of Thanksgiving. I know next week you guys have the big 50th episode. We're all looking forward
Yes,
to
yes. I'm very
that.
excited for the Big 50.
Gonna be super exciting, and anybody watching, listening, message John, send him some videos. Uh,
Yes, yes. So we would love for our 50th, we'd love for any of our listeners to record a video that we can then show um, on the 50th episode, kind of like thanking and congratulating us on 50 episodes. So if you are interested in being a part of that, shoot me a message and I'll tell you what you have to do. And it'll be a fun time.
yeah,
And we're gonna cut
John
it
will
all
give
up.
you all the details, but definitely keep that in mind. It's gonna be awesome next week, and so proud of you guys for hitting 50, and so thankful to have been any part of it. But from there, you're already ready for Christmas there, but I was going to talk Thanksgiving. And what's your favorite Thanksgiving food?
Oh man, I mean, so Thanksgiving. So, my family's Italian, so while we do have the traditional Thanksgiving food, we also can't have a holiday without pasta and chicken
Meatball.
cutlets and meatballs and raviolis and
Fried calamari. Do you guys do the fried calamari?
not really. We don't. My family is not really big into fish.
Okay.
If somebody in my family liked it, we'd be more than happy to have it. But it's just not. It's just not something me and my family are. Are you guys big fish people?
I am, but my wife is not, so we don't give we don't do it as often as I would like. So it hasn't worked its way into the holiday meals. But we'll be fine time. I'm getting the kids around to it a little bit more and more, which is fun.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's like what Jimmy Fallon always says: fish is bad for the soul. So that's why we don't eat fish in my house. But yeah, not really fish people. But I mean, I just want. I honestly, I make some killer meatballs. So I enjoy more of the Italian side. I mean, look, I love the mashed potatoes and the thanks and the turkey and the whatever. I will say there is one thing we get on Thanksgiving that we don't really get on other holidays. My uncle for dessert makes this really killer cheesecake. Like it's like, oh my god, like beyond amazing. And I kind of look forward to that every year, which is weird because I'm not typically a big dessert guy. Um, but my uncle just makes this really killer cheesecake from scratch and is beyond amazing. And I kind of look forward to that every year. What about you? Do you have a thing that you
I
look
mean, my
forward to every
favorite is always
Thanksgiving?
the stuffing. Like I'm a big, like the actual, like you put it in the bird stuffing, it cooks with the bird, drench it in
Yeah.
gravy. We always have it so it's like overflowing out of the turkey, so the stuff that cooks kind of outside the turkey gets like a nice crisp kind of crust to it, and I that's by far my favorite. You get that and the mashed potatoes, and you just drench it all with gravy. I love turkey. I love ham. I could go either way. The meat, it's whatever. But it's all for me. It's always about the sides. And yeah, making. And I'm to the point now where I always help make the stuffing and whatnot. And
There you
uh,
go. Good.
my
No, I
mom
like
and
that.
grandmother had always done it. So when we make the turkey at our house, that's become my job. And so yeah, no, big on that. I will say my father-in-law makes an amazing apple pie. That is
Ooh,
like
I do like.
apples
I
and
like a
cream
nice.
cheese. Yeah.
I like a nice. I like the apple crumb pie with the crumb on top.
Oh, nice. And then my sister-in-law makes a really good cheesecake that we have every year, especially when we have the holidays down at my brother and it's actually my brother-in-law and his wife. I guess I would still call her a sister-in-law. I don't know. But we so yeah, no, they always treat us well when we go down there. So Gabe
Yeah.
wants to know though where's the ziti?
Oh yeah, no. We definitely we'll have some ziti or lasagna, raviolis. Definitely. Yeah. We get the good stuff. Trust me. That's like if you're in the New York area and you want to come to Thanksgiving with my family, you're going to enjoy it. Um, yeah. You know who really likes Thanksgiving though?
Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon. Yeah, I always love seeing him on the parade. I always love seeing him. He's usually on the parade float with the Roots. He does a great job every year.
Now, being
Um,
where you are, have you gone out? Have you gone to the parade? Have you
Hell
ever?
no! I'm a New Yorker. We don't do any of that shit. You kidding me? No, God no,
Stay as far away as possible.
no, God. No. You gotta get to 34th Street at like it's like 3 a.m. or something. No, God no. No. The way to do it. The way to do it. This is what I tell anybody who's coming to New York. But even if you're a local, this is the way to do the Thanksgiving Day parade. Um, the day beforehand, they have what they call Inflate Day,
Yep.
and it's in Central Park. Oh, so you're aware of this?
Yep.
Um,
I've heard all about it.
did we talk about it?
No, no, not from you, but
Oh,
no,
not from me.
I have
Okay.
heard and seen. I've had friends because I've never gone, and growing up in Western New York, I never we never made the trip over. Um, I always wanted to, but everybody always told us that if you were going to go, the inflate day was the cooler day because you got to watch all the balloons get blown up.
Right.
And
And go later in the day. They're all blown up. They're all
yeah,
ready to go. You go to Central Park. They have them all lined up. You walk down. You walk back. You saw it all, and then you go home. That's it.
you don't have to wait for all the choreographed music numbers or the high school bands that play off cue.
They're not singing live anyway. None of them are singing live except for Jimmy Fallon and the Roots. But everyone else is pre-recorded. Everyone else is pre-recorded. It's bullshit. No, so I enjoy, like, if I'm making food for the holiday, I'll have that on in the background, and then of course Santa Claus comes at the end, and that's the second best part to Jimmy. But no, I always enjoy seeing Santa at the end, and that brings us into the Christmas season.
It was always a tradition of our family, and it's carried down to our kids. The hard thing about living in the mountain time zone is we get it on delay, which is great because then you don't have to get up super early. But at the same time, football starts at the same time the parade ends. So then we got the multiple TVs going, so the kids can watch the end of the parade while I can start watching football. So,
oh, that's good, man.
But you mentioned the Roots, and that's gonna be my segue into our next topic, and then I'm going to talk about the Roots of our favorite brand. At Roosevelt's, our boy Stephen Gebhardt went to Seton Hall and was a big part of the community at Seton Hall. And it was kind of cool to see this week that Roosevelt's made a Seton Hall specific line of clothing that
yes.
I know you made the trip over there the other day to check it out.
Yes, and actually, first of all, I brought it over here actually,
so
we can actually check it out, all the details and all its fine glory.
Nice.
I only have the Kunu here. I don't have the jacket and the Breakfast Bowls polo in here. So this right here is the Seton Hall exclusive. Does it have a name to it? I do not see a name on it. I'm sure there's an internal name. I don't see it because the tag is like a Seton Hall tag. It's not not the Roosevelt's tag that'll say the name of it on. This right here is a beautiful shirt, and I know you make fun of me for pimping out the cruise every time, but this really is a really nice cruise shirt. If you're going on the cruise, I highly recommend you get a Seton Hall shirt. This is a great cruise shirt.
Back it up from the camera; it's disappearing.
Oh, okay. No, I love the anchor. I love the boat. I love the parrot, the hook, the flag. This is a really, really, really nice, really nice button down. Oh, you can't even see it.
Yeah, right. That's what I was saying. Yeah, you got to. Your background takes. There you go. That's better.
I see. This is like my invisibility cloak,
right?
Because I don't want anyone to see me. Yeah, so it really has a lot of nice details into it. I'm sure a lot of this is really personal to the school. So I think they did a great job with it. I picked up a couple of these for some insiders who really wanted it. And so the thing to know about the Seton Hall stuff. What was the price point on the Seton Hall stuff? Kunu jacket. Happy to explain. So for the record, there's 4 items really technically. There was a T-shirt as well. They literally only had 3 T-shirts. It was 3 T-shirts of the
T-shirts, the jacket, the polo, and then the
So they only had 3 total T-shirts in the entire inventory. So I don't know if they were just hanging out there for a while. So everything was same retail that you'll see on the Roosevelt site. The Kunu and the Breakfast Bowls polo were both $70, and then the new starter jacket, which is definitely exciting because that's it's the first time we've gotten something like this. The new starter jacket is retails for $130.
Oh, that's actually not bad. I would have expected a lot more for that, to be honest.
Yeah, no, and that looks really nice. And I did confirm that the sizing only goes up to 2X at this time, small to 2X. So the lady at the bookstore told me that this is the first time they're kind of carrying like a premium brand like this.
Yeah.
And they were a little bit more conservative with their ordering. So they felt a little nervous about, ordering the bigger sizes. But they did say, if the stuff sells, they would be more than happy to order the bigger sizing on the restock.
Well, I was super excited about the starter jacket. I mean, not that I don't need Seton Hall branded stuff, but it brought back a lot of memories of my first starter
check
jacket.
that out. Wow.
Which I still own, my first Green Bay Packers starter jacket.
Wow.
Back then, you would buy them super big and baggy. I fit in it properly these days because I've gained weight enough to fill it out. But I'm really excited that they're kind of and granted, there's ties to the school there. But I'm excited that they're kind of dipping into that college thing. And I wouldn't necessarily buy any of this stuff because I'm not tied to the school. I think the Kunu looks really cool, and you're right, it's great for our crews. But I hope that this is maybe just the start of getting maybe some other colleges on board, or maybe at some point, all the Major League Baseball branding that they've had, isn't team specific. It's just, players association specific. So maybe this helps bring in some of that where they're able to get some of the actual leagues or whatever involved, and maybe do some actual, sports logos and clothing and whatnot. But you're right, Gabe. I think it's really cool that they got their alma mater involved. I know one topic of conversation around it, as it came out though, was, not to have insiders flock there and buy too much stuff, maybe to leave some, for the kids. Did they say anything about how it was selling, and like if it was looking like, the kids and staff on campus were actually buying it, or is this something that we're all going to have to grab on and make sure it sells out?
Yeah, so definitely happy to touch base on that for a little bit. I got a little bit of flack for that. So a couple of things. I will say I was told a number of things. I was told that the shirts are doing well and that they're getting a good response. I was told at some point they will be available to purchase on the website for everybody.
Nice.
They don't know when that's going to be, but all of the Roosevelt stuff will be available on the Seton Hall website at some point.
Yeah.
They said mainly they're waiting on pictures from HQ, like the professional pictures,
Yeah.
which apparently they don't want to post without. And then I guess they just need to have their web team, keep track of all the inventory and, put everything up. I don't think it's probably not that hard of a thing to do. She didn't know when we'd be doing it, but they would be doing it at some point. She said eventually everything will just be online for everybody, but they said they are receiving a positive response to it. I was told of 2 upcoming products as well. We are getting a quarter zip at some point soon, and we are also getting another Kunu that is more what she described as more like summer vibe, more like I guess more of like a relaxed, Caribbean feel, like Hawaiian, more of a traditional Hawaiian.
Their logo, their mascot's the pirates, so maybe we'll get some island beach with pirates and some rum.
Right.
Why is the rum always
why is the rum always good? And yes, to your comment before, I received a couple of comments from some individuals, people who I love and respect and have no issues with. I did receive a couple of comments though, saying that I essentially shouldn't be doing pickups, or if I'm going to do pickups, limit them, to just a few, to try to keep it there at the bookstore. And I will say a member of HQ reached out to me privately and told me I can do what I want. So, and they didn't see. I was
for them,
told,
a sale is a sale. So it looks better for them if it.
I was told, quote unquote, that I did nothing wrong, and to do what I want to do. And if I want to continue doing pickups, I'll continue doing pickups, and that I'm all good. So
great that you had their support and their backing on that.
Yeah, that was nice.
I did see a lot of heated, that won't, it was just some discussion about it, and I definitely get like, we even we as just members of this community, like I want the community to expand. So if these kids buy them, maybe they get in and involved too. But um, I don't think it hurts to do some pickups and as you didn't go in there and clear off the racks. So you grab some
No,
shirts for some people, you'll send them out. Like it'll expand the brand. It'll expand the Seton Hall, penetration. They'll get out to some places that they probably, these people, might not have ever heard of that university beforehand, and now they'll be wearing them wherever you're shipping them off to. So
yeah, I mean, and hey, look, I mean, and I'm all for the alma mater and the teachers and the people who are there at the school wearing the shirts, and I think it's great. As far as I'm concerned, they're there all day where they can go and buy the shirts and get, like they're there all day. I showed up there for 45 minutes and I picked up a couple. They can go anytime they want. So if you guys need one, send me a message because I'm thinking about going back.
I will definitely have to put some thought to it. Maybe having you grab one for the cruise, because it is a very nice shirt. It's very subtle. Even the Seton Hall on it isn't. My concern was like I don't need a college that I didn't go to and don't know a whole lot, but just the way that they did it, it doesn't necessarily scream Seton Hall. I think my biggest concern at this point is white, and we're going to be carrying around, umbrella drinks, and I just don't want to, I just don't want to drip some red, drink on the white shirt.
Now, Ron, just think real quick. You walk onto the cruise. What is the first drink you're grabbing? You show up. I'm assuming you're going to get that alcohol package.
Definitely going to get the alcohol package. I mean,
what's the first drink you're grabbing?
Oh man, I will definitely. I'll go something super fruity and like. I want it to be like. Have you watched the movie Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
I have. Yes.
Yeah, there's a scene where they're sitting at the bar and he just keeps getting like all the drinks that have like the obscene amount of like fruit hanging out of them. Like I don't even care what the drink is. I just want it to visually look like that for the first one.
Yeah,
where it's just like the ridiculous. Definitely. It's got a giant banana and a whole apple, or whatever. Like that's where I'm going with off their menu is whatever the first drink is going to be just ridiculous. And then we'll go from there. And I'm sure it might get more ridiculous as the night goes. I mean, I know.
Love that. It's funny you mentioned Forgetting Sarah Marshall, one of my favorites.
Love that.
Jimmy Fallon was actually up for the role of Kunu in that role. They gave it to Paul Rudd instead, but if you look up like the IMDb facts, it was actually Jim. Just fun little fact, just so you know.
Well, we'll move on from our from Seton Hall into some of the drops and stuff this week. Right after we talked last week, that they had announced the drop zone. So Friday we got the drop zone for winter break. I got it. We were talking about guessing what it was, and I said it was going to be something south. It was going to be penguins or whatever, and it is penguins and reindeer and a little bit of Santa in there on vacation. Did you go for the drop zone? Did you get it? What did you think of it?
To me, it was okay. I think Roosevelt has better Christmas shirts. I think it's nice, but it wasn't for me. So I did not grab this one. But are you a fan? Have you received it in person yet?
I haven't received it yet. I did get it. Again, it was one of those ones. I'm not 100% sold that I need it as a keeper shirt. I have some wish list items that I've been hunting and getting things like drop zones. I'm funny. I know where the values on some of these shirts are. I hate to be the guy to turn around and sell them for what they say that they are. I typically, when I did pickups at Denver Comic-Con, I made sure to I made sure I was selling things, just at cost plus shipping and whatnot. Like I want to make sure members of the community get the shirts at affordable prices. What I like to do, what I like to do in these situations is if I can get some of these shirts that I don't necessarily want that do run kind of higher value, have some of that FOMO to them, I then try to trade those for things off my wish list that I am not going to pay the crazy prices of what those shirts currently are. And
That's the
you know,
smart move.
and
Trade
so
some more.
yeah, the chaos shirts, I didn't necessarily want. I got them. I've been trying to fish for my Cosmic Coco. Hasn't happened, but just kind of landed a deal with Dumbo for two shirts off my wish list that I wanted. So at least got to check those boxes off, and that's kind of the way I operate. I don't I try not to deal in the dollars, and I don't want to be somebody who's helping inflate some of the prices and whatnot. I'd
Not like
rather.
Dustin. I heard Dustin. Dustin had gotten one of each of the Dumbo, the Pinocchio, the Chaos Wednesday or Tuesday, whatever day it was. He got one of each, and he was actually trying to flip them for about 400 each, which I thought was a little steep. I mean, look, I believe in a free market.
Well, he had to pay for that trip to Japan somehow.
He did have to pay.
He says it was points, but maybe it was Kunu Club points. Yeah, I don't know.
It may have been exactly. So,
so that's on its way. I think it's scheduled for me to arrive here in the next couple days, and then I'll take a close look at it. But more than likely, it'll be another one that I kind of dangle out there to see if I can knock another something off my list that's been out there for a while. So we'll move along. Well, go ahead.
No, I just said I'm glad for you, and I hope you can get some more cool shirts for yourself.
I appreciate it, and with that, we'll move on. The next thing, and we had two separate drops of hoodies. We had one on Saturday that was 3 Jurassic Park hoodies, and then we had another one on Wednesday that was the 3 Disney hoodies. So Mr. DNA, we got the Jurassic Park Tiki, we got Clever Girl, we got Jellyfish and Mine from Nemo, and then we got the Ratatouille hoodie. Any new hoodies added to your collection?
So I definitely think Jellyfish is going to make its way over. In fact, I hope we see that in a full jogger set. Honestly, I would love to. I think that I like that pattern a lot. I think that's the way to.
I just finally got the Kunu of that. I was able to pick it up off of BST for a really reasonable, cheap price, and I was super excited to get it because that's one that's been on the list for a while. It's you're right.
Are you aware?
Go ahead.
Continue. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say the colors on it, the subtlety of having Nemo in it, like it was one that I like. It's not necessarily whale or anything, but it was one that had been on the list for a while. Of at some point I will own that. So I like the way it looks here as a hoodie, and I think you're right. I think if they were to sell the pants for it, those would go pretty quick too.
Oh, I agree. Now I don't know. Are you aware of the shorts?
I have seen the shorts. I have not gotten the shorts to do the tux. But
what size shorts do you wear?
I can do extra large or 2X.
Okay.
I'm one of those ones where the shirt's usually an extra large, but the shorts I can do or the shirt's a 2X. I can usually do extra large in the shorts, but worst case I size up depending on what's out there and available.
Got it. Yeah, the shorts are definitely nice. The tux is nice on that one. That was just a random drop on Shop Disney. It was kind of a one and done. They just kind of came out, they went, and that was it. They were gone. No announcement or anything. Very weird crazy. How they did that. Yeah, it was like, oh my god, there's Jellyfish Finding Nemo shorts. That was a chaos day of and of itself. So yeah, definitely. But if they could do the jogger of that one, I like. That one and mine, I really, those are my favorite. But the Jellyfish, that's the number one for me.
Dan wants Clever Girl pants so he can go full camo. I also think that I hope that they do come back around to some of these and do the joggers at some point because Dan's right, like it would be fun to have Clever Girl as a complete set and then go hide in the bushes and nobody will see it. It could become your hunting gear for all I know.
It could, yeah. No, I definitely think. I think that'd be great. No, that would be a great jogger set. Hey, listen. Hopefully, HQ. I think these jogger sets look absolutely killer. I want one so bad. I need to buy one. I just need to pull the trigger on it.
I've been
But they
seeing
look
a
great
lot
in
of them.
person.
The Christmas ones are all getting delivered, and I'm seeing everybody wear the pants, the
I'm
hoodie, and
so
the Santa
jealous.
cap, and they are a gorgeous combination.
I am so jealous. Um, so I I I may need to find those green pants on BST
Right.
and make something happen because I need that full look for the holidays
Well
and make my
then,
family even more disappointed than they are in me already.
well, we all love you just the same, and but the thing that we're going to talk about next, I know had also sparked some heated debates over the last couple days, and that's the parka. Um, they came out in two colors. We had an olive and the slate. Um, they did a test run on these about a year ago.
Yeah,
A black one that came out that you could get, and the price point on that was 150 to to get and to test with. I know that they took a lot of feedback, things about the way the shoulders were or where the zippers were and things like that. And then came out with these two, and then the price point was $250. And I know a lot of people, they were
gasp.
both sides of that, but I think a lot of people, yeah, were like, "Whoa, not what I was expecting." After the beta test was only 150. Um, we'll get into that. First of all, did you pull the trigger? Did you want
Um,
or grab either one of these?
I think these look really nice. I think for where I live, though, it's just not feasible to spend $250 on a parka. I have my denim den and I have my shirt jacket, and those usually keep me pretty warm. This is a really nice jacket, but I think it's much better for somebody who's in a colder climate. Um, I just I don't see myself getting all the use out of the parka where I live.
And
Um,
especially at that price point.
at that price point. I love it. I think it's great. I think it's great for people who are in that climate, but it's just not something that I think I need. I don't think I'm going to get a whole lot of use out of it. Frankly, knock on wood, winter has really been almost non-existent past couple of years. They are saying we're going to get a lot of snow this year, but I feel like they always say that.
I
So
mean, we
I think it
we were
looks
still hitting the 70s today in Denver. We were going to break an all-time high for the day, for this day in history kind of thing. And like we're approaching like the longest that it's taken for the first snowfall in Denver, which is
really.
crazy. I like them. I think both these jackets look really good. Again, I love that they're expanding the brand. I love that they're trying other things. They will find an audience with these things in some manner. Um, for me, that's not why I'm here. I like the crazy patterns and the fun shirts and whatnot. And to be honest, if I was going to get a jacket like this, there are other brands that I would probably look at first that are a more versed and experienced in it, and b have a lower tier cost, price point, a Columbia or an REI, and yeah, they have
Yeah.
jackets that go up to 250, but they also have jackets that are 99 and 150, and I'd probably hit that first. Luckily, I got a ton of sports jackets, so I'm not in the market anyways. But I
Sure.
think they look nice. It just not for me.
I did see a nice parka at the NBC store last night. It was nice at the Jimmy Fallon logo and the Tonight
And
Show logo in the
they
back.
have like Jimmy Fallon, his face on the chest for you or something like that. Or
Oh, right in the pocket. He's
oh,
in the pocket and he's looking up at you and he's giving a little thumbs up. And then on the back is the Tonight Show logo, and that was only $125, and I thought that was great, so I bought three. It was nice.
and so where do you stand? On a lot of people were really kind of taken aback by the beta test was only 150. Why are these 250? I'm all happy for them. Set your prices where you want to set your prices, and if it doesn't work, they'll adjust. But how did you feel when you first saw that price?
Yeah, I mean, so because I don't live in a place that really requires um, a parka on any kind of regular basis, I can't say that I've spent too much time looking into the whole. I don't know what you would call it, but whatever that field is, whatever that section is of just really
that market
oversized extra. Yeah, I don't. So I don't know if this is normal or if this is really high for something of this value. But in the general sense, though, I say, and I say this with any product, regardless if it's a beta test or if it's a full-fledged product or anything, nobody's putting a gun to your head to purchase anything. That includes Roosevelts or things that are not Roosevelts. So I think if you look at anything in this world and you think it's too high, well, then I don't think you should pay for it.
Exactly.
Because the only way you're going to bring prices down is by simply not paying into it. The reason why concert prices are so much money this day and age is because they're selling out. Lady Gaga can do 7 nights at the Garden at $300 for seats all the way in the bleachers because she sold out 7 nights at the Garden at that price point. So next time she comes to town, it's going to be even more. So,
I've often wondered. You bring up a funny, and this is kind of a topic I like to discuss. The ticket prices and the way that they sell, like it's been crazy. But there's also such a huge scalper market now that yes, they sell out, but do the seats actually get filled? And that's something I don't think people look at or talk about enough. Like, you can sell out at the face value of the tickets, and that's great, and you can raise prices based on that. But are the customers in those situations actually getting the seats? Because I've been to a lot of sold out shows, and you get there, and it's like 50% of the stadium is empty because really it sold out because the scalpers got it thinking that they'd be able to turn the tickets, at a higher value. And some concerts, like you go to Taylor Swift, that's going to happen, but other concerts, kind of fall short, and it ends up being a sellout, and they end up jacking up the prices. Like a prime example, my son Joel wants to go. He wants his Christmas present to be AC/DC is coming to town this summer.
Wow!
And they're playing Mile High Stadium. They're playing Mile High Stadium, and the band The Pretty Reckless is opening for them. And I was super excited when he's like, "Dad, don't get me any other Christmas presents. I just want to go to that concert." I was like, "Perfect! Like, we'll take back all the stuff we've already gotten, right? Like, we've already been shopping." And then we got on Friday last week to get tickets, and the cheapest, and not that we needed necessarily the cheapest, but the cheapest seat in the building to sit in the very last row in the 500 level of a football stadium was $99. So just to take him and I, and the plan would have been, to take my wife Megan as well, just to take the two of us would have been, $250 just to sit in really shitty seats. So, we're just gonna play the wait game and hope that when the concert gets closer, you're gonna have people who bought tickets thinking that they'd flip them and start to hit that panic mode and sell lower level seats for less so price. Because if we're gonna pay that kind of money, I want us to, and if it's a gift for him, I want to make sure that it's a fun experience and that he's getting the best for it. But I'm also not going to pay $300-400 a ticket to get down to that 100 level.
Hey, and so first of all, I agree completely with you. I think it's really sweet that, especially for your son, you want to make sure that, he's going and he's going to get a good seat and he's going to enjoy himself. And you don't want him to go there and kind of regret his choice. Like, oh man, I'm sitting all the way in the back. I'm not, I can't even see nothing. I'm not, I think that's awesome. I think when it comes to concert tickets, unless it's an artist that $99 is running that WWE. I did read something about that apparently the prices used to be more affordable for them, and apparently since they got taken over by TKO, apparently
they've gone through the roof. Yeah,
they've gone through the roof. Yeah, that sucks. That really, I think when it comes to concert tickets, unless it's an artist that you really love, or if you know that this is gonna sell out and I'm gonna have a problem later, I think with most artists, you're pretty safe with if you live in the vicinity of the area wherever it's being played. I say wait until the day of. Go on StubHub, set yourself up an alert, and watch those prices, drop. And I think it's
play the waiting game, and you just have to also be. You also have to be, committed enough that you realize that maybe it doesn't work out for you, and either you're going to spend more than you wanted, or you're not going to go. And
Right.
like we had a similar situation when the Avs were in the Stanley Cup here a few years ago. My neighbor Steve and I really wanted to go to a game, and we were watching the prices, and they were ridiculous, and they kept going up and then going up. And then around lunchtime, the day of the game, we saw a pair of tickets about 10 rows off the glass that went from, they'd been, you know, 1500 and 2000 at one point, and all of a sudden they were $800 a ticket. And that's still a ridiculous price, but you're 10 rows off the glass, and it was like half of what the tickets around it were going for. So we jumped on it and went to game one of that Stanley Cup, which was crazy. But we seriously had to sit there all day messaging back and forth. We're like, I don't think we're going to this game. What are we going to do instead? And just like committed to what our line was and whether we were going to make it happen or not.
And hey, look, and that's great. First of all, did they win?
They did win that game and went to overtime. It was an amazing game. I mean, it was a great game one, and we were excited. A lot of people want to go to that like clinching game. We were actually excited for game one because you get all the pop and circumstance of the beginning of the cup finals and all that, and all the glitz and glam. The problem with trying to go to those, the clinching games, and as exciting as it would be to be at one of those, you also run the risk that maybe they lose that game and they don't clinch it, and then they have to go, they go back to another place or whatever. And for game one, even if they had lost game one, you still had plenty of hockey to play, and you still got all that, pop and circumstance that came around with the start of the.
Sure.
So it was awesome. We had a great time. We did win the game, and then the Avs won the cup. They were on the road, but Ball Arena did this thing where for like $20 you could buy a ticket to go sit in the arena and watch the games on the jumbotron when they were on the road. And so we were still in the arena the night that they clinched the championship with 5,000 other Avs fans, and they immediately had the merchandise available and all that. So it wasn't as good as really being at the game that they clinched, but to be there when they clinched was still, with other fans, was still kind of a cool experience.
Dude, that's awesome, man. I'm so glad to hear that you had that amazing experience. My dad used to take me to Ranger games all the time as a kid. My dad was a huge New York Rangers fan, and he knew somebody that had a box at Madison Square Garden. So occasionally we would go and we would get tickets in the box and watch the games together. And it's definitely a memory of mine that I remember forever. So I think that's really cool that you got to do that with your buddy and go see that amazing game together. And
no, it was a lot of fun. Like, and again, it's one of those, you just bite the lip and it's a once in a lifetime kind of experience. So
definitely.
Well,
but yeah, when it comes to concert tickets, though, I try to wait and hold off, and I think you can. I think you can definitely get a cheaper price in most scenarios.
Nice. Well, moving right along, we've got the today's drop was another drop of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. This is a Christmas staple. They've had a couple runs of shirts over the last couple of years for Christmas, and they dropped a lot today. I mean, there was multiple Kunus, 3 Kunus, a jacket, a long sleeve polo.
Yeah, it's a lot in this drop. Yes.
Yeah, I mean it was crazy. I mean, to see the long sleeve, polo was nuts. They did the Kunu of last year. This opening credits was only available as a polo, as a retail exclusive. Now they dropped it as a Kunu. You've got the sweatshirt, you've got a t-shirt, you've got hat. I mean, there was even the tie with the the pocket handkerchief. I mean, this was a big drop, bigger than what I was expecting. Anything stand out for you? Anything that you jumped in on? Any?
Yeah, a couple actually. So first thing I want to bring out is Todd and Margot shirt. Absolutely great shirt. It gives me Spano vibes for sure. But one cool little fun fact of this one is that this was supposed to come out last year. I don't know if you were in the Roosevelt's calendar, but in the Roosevelt's calendar
was the background.
Of one of the months, and then we just never saw it. But that was it. So really, and keep in mind, guys, that's just to have an idea for how long some of these shirts were in production for, or when they've been working on designs for, like, we're talking, this was printed in the calendar a year ago, which, it means it was printed,
Yeah.
it was designed at least 6, 7, 8 months prior to that,
Yeah.
And now we're finally just getting the final product. So that, I think, is really, that's a great one. I think the opening credits Kunu is really nice. That would probably be my winner, honestly, from all of them. But the Todd and Margot shirt, I think, is really nice. And like I said, I really like the tie. It's very rare that I feel like that we get a tie and pocket square.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
been a while. Yeah.
mm,
I definitely thought if I was gonna buy anything, I was thinking opening credits would be it because I had the polo, and I wanted a Kunu, and like I mean you can see right here. I mean they've sold out of all the bigger sizes. Only medium and
yes.
extra small are available. So it definitely was one of the hot ones on here. The only thing that held me back, and you know again I really thought I would get it, but I didn't think. Like I looked at this stripe down the middle of where the button line was, and it's just the way that they did it just looks kind of awkward to me. And just they didn't. It's just not matched quite right. And maybe this is kind of a Dustin thing with the pocket.
That's
Like
the pocket,
right.
yes.
There was just something to me about the way that this line down the buttons just kind of looked weird to me. And already having the polo where you don't have that, I was like, yeah, it's not worth spending another $70 on. So I'm
No,
glad people
I
liked it. I'm glad that it's selling like hotcakes. It is a beautiful. I love my polo. It's one of my favorite Christmas shirts. But just seeing that was like, maybe I don't really need it. So
no, and I think it's great that they came out with a lot of really cool, interesting, different designs and whatnot. But Ariane in the comments brings up a really good point. There were no ladies, which I was a little surprised about. I feel like this would have been a great drop to do ladies cuts on, especially with how many different styles of designs they went with. Like, clearly there's belief not only in the brand. They've done National Lampoon a bunch
time
of
and time,
times now.
yeah, time and time again, and like Dan said, like so many of these designs are near sellouts already. I know the Margot, the Todd and Margot shirt is. Another one I was looking at and is nearly sold out was the Empty in the Tank. The old shitter's full. I
Yep.
uh I like that design. I didn't need another polo, but I mean, you look at it's down to mediums and extra small as well. Like the whole drop. It's funny for something that's on its third rotation through. It's sold really well. Um, I I'm impressed with it. A lot of times when they have multiple drops of a IP, you see a little less each time because how many of these do I need, kind of thing.
Right. Apparently, we need more of the Griswolds.
But exactly, apparently we still needed way more Griswold. So I didn't even realize this one. All the trimmings is completely sold out. So
Completely gone. Wow.
yeah,
Yeah,
and that's another testament. The polos usually don't sell real well, right? Like not that they're bad, not that they sell
not as well
bad.
as the
They
Kunus.
don't
Yeah,
they
but
don't
it's not
sell
as
out
popular.
nearly as quickly as the Kunus do. And to see that the polos even sold so well is kind of crazy. Like good for them.
Yeah, no, definitely good for them. I think it's great, but I definitely wish we saw ladies cuts. Definitely a little disappointed in that, and hopefully, hopefully they take notice and maybe we'll get some sort of special Christmas restock pre-order thing, and we can get some of these designs
Yeah.
in ladies cuts in time for the holidays.
Well, it is, and I'm sure that they have their formula for it.
Sure.
They did have some for like the Wizard of Oz collection. I'm sure that probably leaned more towards women's taste or whatnot. But it is often surprising to me which ones don't have women's cuts or youth cuts. And like Wizard of Oz had ladies cuts, but it didn't have youth cuts. Like my daughter really wanted one. We ended up getting her one in a women's small, which will work for her, but it's still a bit big on her.
Sure.
That's an IP that's something where you probably have a lot of kids who would be interested in it, and that wasn't available. So it's always very hit or miss. But I wish that they had more availability of some of that, and especially the women's cuts. That's something that I know is echoed a lot. Like the women like the shirts too, and they don't always want it to be the tent cut that it feels like when you're wearing a man's cut. So
No, I agree. Like I said, So make your voices loud and proud on that one, and hopefully we see some more ladies cuts on that.
Well, and that brings us to our final shirts to talk about, and it's not here yet, but we get to have some speculation again on tomorrow's drop zone. Drop zone 82 says stitched for the season. Comes out at 12 Eastern tomorrow. So set your timers, set your alarms, get your discount codes preloaded, all that. But stitched for the season. What's your guess? What's your guess
Yeah.
what that means?
Yeah, so my first guess is going to be some sort of ugly Christmas sweater theme, and I think that'd be great. I'm a fan of ugly Christmas sweaters, and do you know who else is a fan of ugly Christmas sweaters?
Jimmy Fallon, definitely.
He does the 12 days of Christmas, and for the last 12 days of the season, he actually gives out an ugly Christmas sweater to somebody in the audience, which I think is really cool. So I just thought that should also be noted. But that's what I think. Um, yeah, I think some sort of ugly Christmas sweater thing. If it's a Roosevelt sweater, that'd be pretty dope.
That would be. I mean, if it is a actual Roosevelt's ugly sweater, that is a must buy.
That would be an instant buy, 100%.
But I think with that, it wouldn't be stitched for the season. It would be knitted for the because they're not.
You have to be so technical. It's like Dustin here. It's like Dustin here when he's not even here.
That's why he tagged me in. We have enough in common. I was with you though. That was kind of my first instinct was ugly Christmas sweater. I do want to give it a shout out. I did before I was running through insiders while we were waiting for the show, and the one that jumped out to me was James Caldwell posted that maybe it's Little Kunu as ugly Christmas sweaters.
Oh, that would be cute. Oh, I like Little Kunu.
Something, and they typically Little Kunu is part of Drop Zone, so that one actually made a lot of sense. So, I will say that I definitely kind of lean towards what James was saying now. Like if it's Little Kunu as Christmas sweaters, like that might be a must pick up, and not one that I'm picking up to trade.
Ooh,
that might be one that is a keeper.
No, I would need that for sure. I would like that a lot.
I do like where Dan's head went though, where he said Yuletide surgical gore. I mean, we need a little bit more, horror and Halloween type vibes during Christmas.
Absolutely, that is definitely. It's a guess. I'm not putting money on it, but it's a guess for sure.
Props for him for thinking outside the box because I don't think too many people were chalking that one up there. So, yeah. Well, my friend, we're at the $1:15 mark. We've been on for a while. About time to shut it down again. First of all, thanks so much for having me on for the last couple weeks. Well, Dustin's gone. It's going to be hard to give up the seat. I always enjoy being here with you guys. I enjoy helping out, and I'm a big. I very much appreciate that you guys have the trust in me to jump on here with you guys. So, thanks a lot.
Of course, definitely always happy to see you and your cool, fun, crazy hats. I think there's about 6 of them on this episode.
I was you hadn't mentioned it all episode. I was going to see if I could get through all of it without. I've got my whole line of Sesame Street hats. I figured I'd slowly change it through the show and see if anybody knows.
I picked up on it. Just a tad. If you guys didn't notice, go back into the episode. Ron literally changes his hat maybe 6 times throughout the episode. I like that. That was a cool touch. I like that a lot. You did it very sly.
Yeah, that was my Madigan. Just throwing something in subtly and seeing if people noticed. I got that from you. You were an inspiration.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, but before we go, speaking about things that we haven't mentioned all episode. So I think first of all, I want to apologize. I asked you a question last week, Ron, and I was unaware of the circumstances. So I'm going to ask you a different question. Ron, how are your grandparents?
They're dead too.